Rights and resources. So the way this is set up is I found a bunch of pictures of LGBTQ rights by states. So these are the states that have regulations against bullying for specifically gender identity or sexuality. Gray has no anti-bullying legislation. Yellow has anti-bullying and harassment legislation that protects students based on both sexual orientation and gender identity. And then the couple pink states prohibit local school districts from having anti-bullying and harassment policies. So great states, absolutely. But if you look here, New Mexico here is in the yellow. So they have laws against, or at least legislation against harassment due to sexual orientation or gender identity. So this is curriculum standards. So the blue states have LGBTQ plus education in their curriculum standards. They have current curriculum standards that include, and the cyan color here has curriculum that prohibits LGBTQ plus education. So yeah, there's not many states that have it, but on the other hand, there's not many states that have it completely not allowed either. So if it's gray, it's kind of in the neutral. There's no laws for or against it. Yeah. And then this one is states that have rules about transgender, non-binary, and gender non-conforming students in athletics. Athletics, that's the word. So gray, no state guidance. Green, friendly state guidance. So that means pretty much you can join the sports team of your gender identity. Cyan requires medical proof or invasive disclosure. And pink, discriminatory state guidance that includes multiple harmful components. So if it's pink, it's got rules against inclusion of transgender, non-binary, and gender non-conforming students in athletics. And most of these pictures are as of August 2020. So laws might have changed a little bit since then, but these are fairly recent laws or legislations. Rights by protection in the workplace. So this one I'm pretty sure is just talking about no one can refuse hiring you based on sexual orientation or gender identity. So if it's the lightest pink color, it prohibits any discrimination based on sexual orientation or gender identity. If it's that middle pink color, it prohibits discrimination against public employees based on sexual orientation and gender identity. And if it's the dark pink, it prohibits discrimination against public employees based on sexual orientation only. So the reason I say that this is probably just when it comes to the hiring process is because I know that Ohio is an at-will state, so they can fire you simply because they don't like you. So it's very hard to prove that they're discriminating you for firing due to gender identity or sexual orientation, when they could literally just fire you because they don't like you. So I think this all just has to do with the hiring process. And then this last page is a bunch of links that go to legal resources for specifically LGBTQ+. This last one, I believe it was my favorite because it was a very neat organized. Let's see if it's the one I was looking at. Let's see if I can just pull it up real quick. No, that's not the one I wanted. I have it up here somewhere. Okay, I can't find it. I will have Megan, when she's not busy, send those resources to everyone, like those links, so everyone has access to them. But basically, this is all just legal help. So if you feel like your rights are violated, you can go check out these links and see where and who can help you and how they can help you, and et cetera, et cetera. And that's the end of the PowerPoint. Pretty short. I need to stop screen share. Not super long, but I feel it had a lot of important information. And yeah, is there anything anyone wants to talk about what was on the PowerPoints? If not, that's perfectly okay. It's not a super fun topic about which states give us our rights and which ones don't. But hey, at least now you know a good portion of the rights you have in your states. I
just want to say, screw at will firing or termination.
Thank you.
Basically, an at will. Sorry. No, continue. Sorry, I didn't mean it.
I was just agreeing with Betsy.
Okay. If anyone wasn't sure what an at-will state is, it's a state that has a law that says a employer can fire you at will. Basically, they don't need a reason. They can fire at any specific time. No warning, nothing. So that's what an at-will state is.
Like, that makes me like really mad and sad because I don't understand how they could put those legislations into place when they knew that they're harming a lot of people. So that just, it makes me really mad.
Well, a lot of the at-will states were at-will states a lot before most of these legislations started coming in. And because that law was there first, it's kind of hard to differentiate, especially since they never stopped that law, especially in Ohio. I do not. I know that one of the links I had did for medical stuff. One of the links I had did have stuff like that on it. I'll definitely make sure it's still there, and I'll make sure to send you the link because it was a very organized section of stuff where it went down by category. There was different categories for different identities and everything, and there was multiple different links for each thing. So I believe that did include medical stuff to it, but I was unable to find a whole bunch of stuff about it. And I kind of decided just to keep this. Yes, Chad?
I know that with it depends really where you work, but there's a lot of companies out there that have contracts in terms of medical stuff, and the way that they provide and care for their workers is pretty classified, I guess, until it comes to them being hired and then them actually having to show their contracts for one reason or another. So lawsuits is a common thing for that. Previous employees will know a lot about what has to do, but it'll change from place to place and even from like quarter to quarter, depending on how your business goes, how expensive their Medicare is, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
That's all right. That's perfectly fine. No need to feel bad about that. Most of us have been there at one point or another, so yeah. That's really all I had prepared. So
I would also like to point out in a lot of the at-will states, they do have regulations against firing pregnant women.
yes. That's something because it's discrimination based on, I don't remember what the term
Disabilities
would be.
Act.
Yeah, that's within the Disabilities Act. So it's one of those weird things that
I want to make sure I heard it correctly, but Betsy, did you say that they can fire pregnant women?
cannot.
Cannot?
They cannot.
Okay.
That
They
is one of the only regulations at-will states have. At least I know in Ohio, you have to offer a pregnant woman her job back after she's had the child.
Okay, for some reason I thought you said cannot, so I was like confused, but
again, that's one of those things that you also have to prove that they fired you for being pregnant in order for that to apply.
Well, a lot of places, when someone takes too much time off during maternity leave, they will, like, at least they aren't allowed to do this in Ohio. They will fire the person for taking so much time off. In Ohio, they're not allowed to do that. They have to offer the job back when maternity leave is over.
In short, healthcare system sucks.
Yeah, definitely. The healthcare system here really sucks.
Well, I didn't really have anything else planned for at least educational part of my meeting. That was pretty much all I had. So unless somebody wants to talk a little more about something else.
Is everyone, are we done talking about this specific situation, or did you guys have anything else to say?
I just have one thing, which is ADA, Americans with Disabilities Act, does not completely cover pregnancy since it's not considered a disability. But I don't know, I haven't looked that much into it, so it might be that it does cover women to a certain extent, like pregnant women to a certain extent, or it could just be state law. I don't know.
I think it's not ADA. I don't think what she meant was ADA. I think it was the family leave matter stuff. Pregnancy is considered a family leave, and you have to hire them back if they're gone for family leave.
Actually, certain states are allowed to interpret the acts how they deem fit. Certain states will interpret and consider pregnancy as a short-term disability.